Hey everyone, Brad the mechanic here. Today we're working on a 2012 Infiniti M37. This is just like the G37s, but it's like a bigger car, kind of like the 3 Series and 5 Series BMWs, stuff like that. This is just a full-size sedan, and this one here is all-wheel drive. And what we're doing here is changing the front steering rack. These vehicles are equipped, some of them are equipped with four-wheel steering. This one is not. This one just has the front wheel steering. And so what we're going to start off with doing is getting the vehicle up on jack stands. And I always leave my jack up under there too, just in case. Took the wheels and tires off, threw them underneath the car just for another set of safety there. So what we're going to start by doing is we're going to start by popping off these tie rod ends right here, and once we get that, we'll be able to move these wheels a little bit and get behind here and see what's really going on. But if you guys would like to see here, the issue we're having is it's leaking from the actual steering rack, and when you see your steering rack in the boot looks like this and it's all oily, see how there's oil dripping down? That's not good. That means the steering rack is failing. The seals inside there are not holding pressure enough to keep the fluid inside the system, so it's leaking out through here, which is pretty common on most cars after they get pretty old. Especially in Michigan, we're a little bit harder on our vehicles. So with that, we're going to start by popping off this cotter key and getting this nut off for the tie rod end, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Get this cotter key out. See if it'll come out for us. Doesn't really want to move. There we go. There we go. Just coming out slowly. All right. Sometimes if you got to, you can get a hammer back here and tap on it. Try to get it to come out. There you go. Dude. Just like that. So once that comes off, we're going to smack this with a hammer and get it to pop off. Just like that. Alright, so in order to get to the steering rack, there's this plastic cover, and it has about 4 or 6 10 mils like that, and then some clips. So you can see right there, those black clips. Pop those out along with the 10 mils. In this case, this cover will come right down. Alright, so now we're going to take off the steering shaft off of the gearbox itself. This is a 12 mil. Now make sure that your steering wheel is in the middle and that it's not going to move when you take this off, because you don't want this to spin and then to put this on the wrong way. So 12 mil, and that thing's going to pop off. And then I'm going to get a flathead screwdriver underneath that and go upwards with it and get that thing off of there. Alright, then there's a plug that goes down here. It plugs into there. You have to unplug that because this goes right to the actual gearbox itself. Alright, so I had to get that shaft off. What I ended up doing is I took a socket and a driver, and I went up here, and I went up like this, and I hit it, and I banged on it till it came off. Now, once this comes off, you don't want to turn the wheel or anything like that. I have the wheel set so it can't move. So once you get this off, we're going to take the lines off and the main bolts that hold this, and we should be able to remove this easily. Okay, so I got there's 17 mil bolts with 19 on the top to get the two main bolts for this steering rack. And then there are 14 mils that hold the lines on. There's just one line and then a rubber return line. So once you get that off and the plug off and that off, this should slide out. So it's going to take a minute, but we'll finagle this thing out of here. So in order to get a lot more room, there's some 14 mil bolts that hold this cover on, or this like transmission type cross member thing. Then once you get that, you'll have plenty of room to get this steering rack right out. As you can see, there's plenty of room and it'll come right out. All right, you guys, so we got it out. We had to take the cross member off with the, there's like 6 or 8 14 mils that hold that on. And once that comes off, everything comes out pretty damn easy. I would take that off first. Then you can have plenty of access to everything in the steering rack. Here's the rack here. I'm going to fix it. Probably going to reseal it and everything and then put it back in there. But yeah, so this is a 2012 Infiniti M37, and that was the steering rack. So remember, we're gonna jack it up, pop the tie rod ends off, get that whole cross member on the bottom, take that off, and then you'll have plenty of room to get up in here, get the cord, get the wire that's plugged in there. Get the 14 or the I think the 14 mils that hold the lines on and everything. Get that off, and that whole thing will just pretty much come out of there. So, all right, you guys, you don't have to like or subscribe. You just have to. I just want you to fix your shit. So go out there and fix it. All right, you guys. See you later.